never heard that, but that's the origin of CAP. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look.
There's a principle that
Right.
we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have.
Be true to yourself. You don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess. So I knew I was missed.
Deep in here now.
It's incredible. Man.
I love it.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's good.
And applying the recovery out there. What's up, everybody out there on planet Earth? It's your favorite recovery Martian back at Recovery Central, McShin headquarters.
Yeah.
Here in Richmond, Virginia. We're doing our Miracle Monday again. We're highlighting, some people that we feel can show the natural progression of a miracle. In my opinion, sometimes, and this is just my humble opinion,
Right.
the humble host's opinion,
Humble host.
that some miracles come in all shapes and sizes. And there's like instantaneous miracles or small miracles. There's big miracles, but I love the miracle that you watch play out. I love those kind of miracles. And I think we're highlighting one of those today. Our guest for Miracle Monday today is Emily Midget. Emily, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and a little about yourself?
I'm Emily. I am from Richmond, Virginia. I intern here at McShin, and I am the house leader at Destiny, which is the Women's Child House, and I'm also a PRS.
Awesome.
Yeah, and without getting into, like the nitty gritty specifics, like what kind of brought you to recovery? Like, what was that moment in your life? Like let's back it up, like maybe a year before recovery. What's your story in the beginning?
26 years of active addiction, sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'd lost every single thing I'd had, the trust of my family, my children, jobs, dignity, everything. I lost everything.
Yeah. What was your drug of choice over there, Ems?
If you had it, I did it.
Buffet style?
Yeah, the smorgasbord.
And I call it the Golden Corral.
Yeah, and if it was free, that even better.
Yeah. So 26 years. So what are you, like 27 now?
No, I'll be 44 in December.
44.
Yeah.
Those are good prophetic numbers. The prophetic meaning for number 4 is purpose, divine purpose.
I like that.
So you might be in a good year. Good year. It's just from watching you from the outside, it seems to be a progressive year for you.
And fast.
Yeah, I would say that. How were you introduced? Where were you?
To McShin.
To drugs.
To drugs.
Yeah, let's get to the nitty gritty. I wasn't going to go there, but now I feel like it. Let's go back more than 2 years. Let's go all the way back. Let's take it back.
I come from a family with substance use disorders. I've never been a stranger to knowing what they were, but first started smoking marijuana at 13, the gateway drug.
Waited a little late in life, didn't you?
Apparently.
Late bloomer. She's
late bloomer.
Yeah, I get it. And then just that crowd had escalated. Then I started doing, powder cocaine and then ecstasy, ecstasy and acid pretty much at the same time.
Were you a raver? Glow sticks?
So, in active addiction, I wasn't much of, I was an introvert.
You were?
Drugs never, I did use them to be able to socialize, but I still always felt like I was on the outside looking in. And I definitely did drugs to feel accepted.
Yeah, and that's a common theme I found too. You just don't feel accepted. You don't feel part of.
Right.
And then you find the crowd and that's like the common denominator. Would you agree with that? Like we're all doing the drugs.
We're all,
a clique,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, something to form bonds around and connection there. It's just the negative one, but totally, not uncommon.
Well, when I was young and I was naive and I hadn't experienced anything. So what I knew, I knew it felt good and I knew I felt accepted. So I kept rolling with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, when did you notice that it was becoming, a problem? Yeah.
I've always known I mean, truly, truly a problem. Let's say when I was taking prescription meds, and they were going too fast, and I'd always told myself with their scripts, it's okay. But when my parents were like, we are asking you to talk to your doctor because we're going to intervene with your children.
Yeah.
We're putting a stop to this, and we need you to figure it out and get some help.
It was at the point when you did it?
When I got help,
Yeah.
I mean, I went to my family practitioner, and he told me that if he was going to take me off of them, I'd have to go to a detox.
Right.
And I didn't want to leave my children. And that was his only option. And so when I said I'd rather not do that, he wrote me another script.
Right. So, well, then that kind of put you in a catch-22 with your family, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Well, then they wanted to hold them, and I'd let them hold them.
Yeah.
And then they started trusting a little more. Then I started gobbling them down.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because a lot of times before we find the right place for us, we try a lot of things. Like, like for me, like mine was always like, I'll stop using heroin on Friday and I'll take Suboxone all weekend. And
Trying to find ways to manage.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. You're trying to find different clues, and I don't know if that's always because you're just not aware that there's another kind of help, or is it that you're still trying to control the situation, and figure it out for yourself?
Trying to negotiate.
It's because I thought I could get clean all by myself.
Yeah, there it is.
That point blank.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
So,
and I realized that.
How long did that go on for before they were like, okay?
12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they, okay.
I was 30 when the prescriptions came a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And did you ever go past the prescriptions?
Oh yeah, like I ended up getting into trouble. I called 4 possessions and 4 distributions, and I was in the newspaper.
You were?
And my doctor saw the article, and he wanted to know why I was arrested for distribution when he gives me so many meds every month.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a misunderstanding. I was just giving somebody a ride. And he said, when your lawyer shows me that letter that you get that, then I'll write you more scripts. So then I went straight to,
And this doctor sounds like, man, he was on top of his game, wasn't he?
Funny you say that, because when I had
found
finally,
a doctor like that.
Right.
I wonder if he's still practicing medicine.
I hope
Honestly.
so.
So I do know.
He's
No,
he's
you
out there.
don't hope
Nah,
so.
No, you.
I will tell you that when I had gotten clean, I decided I wanted to do the Suboxone clinic, and I was withdrawing terribly. And my doctor was actually the part of the Suboxone clinic. And when I called him and tried to get in, 9-10 years old. So for him to have turned me away like that,
Yeah.
it was, it's definitely, and at that moment in time, I realized, like, with opioids being my DOC at the time, there was not a lot of help.
Yeah.
There really wasn't.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna sidetrack, but I just have to briefly note that, the doctor is like, an overprescriber of prescription opioid pain medication.
Right.
But then yet he's also a part of
I'm not gonna blast the
I'm not
the
gonna
family
say
practice.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It's things that make you go,
Yeah.
They make you wonder.
We'll leave it at that. you know?
Yeah. There's definitely a bigger story to that somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get into that on part 2.
Hey, let's do it. I am definitely down.
The deep dive.
Yeah, so after he denies you the Suboxone, because you were looking to try to get on some kind of maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time my dad saw me
medical
like
assistant.
withdrawing detox, and he was like, whoa, I get it. Because my dad's famous phrase would be, why can't you just stop?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I can't stop. Don't I wish it was that easy?
Yeah, don't we all?
So in between that time, I ended up deciding I didn't need those, and once again, thinking I could quit, and I just would do this all by myself.
Yeah.
And my family was aware I was being open and honest, but then, I'm an addict. I know how to manipulate.
Yeah, we're the masters of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PhD.
It was almost embarrassing thinking back on it now, how good I was.
Yeah. Well, you got to be good at something.
I'm-
We've all got talents.
Yeah. Oh, hidden talents.
Yeah, and being an addict, that one's not special.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How long did that cycle go on before you got these charges? Were all four, and also two-part question. How long? And then were all these charges at one time?
They were.
Yeah. And this is the first time you had ever been in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you went on for about 13 years with the.
So I was indicted in 2013 and then charged and went to the RISE program. That's where I heard about McShin for the first time. Came out and literally was ready. Like, I was looking for pain meds because I justified it's just some pain meds. Yeah, I was looking for them as soon as I got out. And then I think it took 3 months after getting out, after completing the RISE program, a full-blown addict again, intravenously. Yeah. And so
Was that, and that would have been really your first kind of introduction to like recovery type conversation?
It was the first and only. The first and only before I ended up getting here to McShin, which is a crazy story in itself too. But active addiction went off and on, off and on. I ended up meeting somebody, thinking I was in love. I had my own place to live. I was living in the house I grew up in. I mean, the house was paid for. All I had to do was pay my dad a little bit of money a month just to cover like maintenance. And I mean, I had it made. 3-bedroom house, 2 acres, fenced in. Yeah, I had it made. And then I met somebody and ended up moving in with him. And at that time, like, you know, fentanyl was starting to become around, and I never cared for fentanyl. It wasn't my thing. So I ended up just kicking that because I just dibby and dabby towards the end, and started smoking crack. Yeah, started smoking crack. And then that was when I got here to McShin, that was my DOC, and that was the demon I was trying to kick. And I met him. Crack was a drug, you know, it was his DOC, but he kind of kept it on the down low. Slowly but surely, him and I were like off to the races. Very codependent relationship, very physically abusive. I used to ask myself why, like, I'm too strong. Like, I would never tolerate this behavior. Why am I now? And why me? But later on in therapy, I realized that people like that pick strong people because they want that fight. Yeah, they don't want somebody who's just going to submit. Like, they want that fight. Yeah. And I gave it. But I ended up just walking away. And I would like to tell you from everything, but I had nothing left. I just walked away, and ended up, my dad rents the house now somebody rents the house, and he let me stay there for like 3 weeks, and I ended up getting into the Daily Planet, and ended up going to the domestic violence shelter after that, and they gave me a week. It was actually my second time coming to that same domestic violence shelter, the James House, and they had given us a week this time that room was going to be done with. They were no longer going to be using that specific hotel as a form of a shelter. So the girl I was rooming with in there, she was looking in to get into a place. Come to find out it was McShin, but I didn't know that. And a counselor ended up calling her and was like, look, a bed's open. And she denied it. She turned it down. And I had nowhere to go. I had no other option. So I remember I just snatched her phone from her hand, hit redial, and the guy answered, and I was like, and he was like, hello. And I said, I'll take that bed. And he was like, so you've changed your mind? I was like, no, this isn't, you know, the lady's name. I was like, this isn't her. I was like, my name's Emily, and I want that bed. Yeah. And it was the last female bed open at McShin.
What a very, once you become like God conscious, or like you just start seeing God everywhere. What a providential coincidence to be there at that exact moment. That was the first small miracle. You bring up a couple interesting points though, like, you know, this is kind of common because not everybody is, you know, just down at the bottom the barrel or the street level, like just grinding for their drugs. Like in a lot of ways, a lot of people have like, and they call them enablers, but some people don't even know they're enabling. But what it was for a while, you were under the umbrella of your dad's,
Yeah, he was my enabler, but I manipulated.
Yeah, also.
I'm his only daughter too, and he.
Yeah, and it also, it kind of covers you a lot. Like all you got to do is give dad a couple dollars, or if that, and you can stay going that, and then also, you stayed in the abusive relation,
for
a while, and then finally you were
like 2 years while it was,
and you gave up the fight, and then you had like one resource, you went to the daily plan, and they hooked you up with the domestic violence house.
It was my second time going there, so I was familiar with it, but you have to get yourself there, and you have to live in certain counties. So
and I bring it all up just to show like it's like a roadmap. It's like little things you have to do. I mean, you got to go through some things, and it all points you into like a very miracle type moment where you're sitting on the phone with somebody, and and then all of a sudden she decides not to go, so you got to have that part right there. But also it's kind of like everything's connected, and then you travel back in time a little bit. You were in the RISE program, and you had heard of the McShin. So even if you didn't catch any recovery at all, there was like some particular seed that had been planted, a name.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
And everybody in the RISE program who was being sentenced, if they came to the program, they could do their, what do they call it when you're like,
as a sentence.
I mean, when I wouldn't say sentence,
it's like a deferred sentence.
A deference, and so, I mean, McShin was the place to be.
Yeah.
Around there, girls were, they were trying to get in there. So, when I ended up getting to McShin's front door, come to find out the bed wasn't quite available yet, and the female had not moved out.
Yeah.
So I packed everything back up and went back to the shelter just for the evening, and then came back again the next morning.
The very next morning.
Yeah.
So it was open, and you just came back. And what was your first kind of like? Give us like your first initial 24 hours. You come into McShin.
I was very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I had never worked recovery.
And what year was this?
2022, August the 30th, 2022. My clean date is August 27th, 2022.
Nice.
And it was a whole new world. I had to learn a lot. One of the bigger lessons I learned was, not everybody may be on the same path that I am. Like, I was naive. I was very naive. And then I also had to learn that I'm only really here for recovery. If I make some friendships along the way, that's great, but that's not what I'm here for. And then, and if I started really digging deep and working my recovery, I didn't even notice any of the extra drama or any of the things I wasn't part of them. Yeah, I wasn't part of them.
So did you go through the intensive program, or
I didn't? I went straight into sober living. I went to actually Destiny House.
Yeah.
When it was Delrose.
Delrose House. Yeah.
I went there, and exactly 2 years later to the date, I moved back into Destiny House to be their house leader and got my internship.
Yeah.
We would like to pause and take a quick second to shout out our sponsors. We wouldn't be here without our sponsors, so we're very grateful for those that have sponsored the podcast. The McShin Foundation's Getting Early podcast would not be here without our sponsors, our beautiful sponsors. So first, we'd like to say thank you to Avenues Treatment Center. If you are looking for treatment, they have mental health and substance use, primarily substance use disorders, but they will help with mental health as well. They do have detox. Give them a call, 804-638-7329, and you can ask for Kelly Eason. Reach out to Avenues Treatment Center. And up next is New Growth Behavior Health. New Growth Behavior Health is located here in Richmond, Virginia. They are a local treatment Center. Please give them a call, 804-250-6028. We would not be here without our sponsors. They help with substance use disorders. Please give them a call at 804-250-6028. That's New Growth Behavior Health. Thank you, New Growth Behavior Health. And if you're looking for any services, give them a call. They do take insurance. And we also would like to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Align Community and Treatment Services. They are another local treatment services for substance use disorder here in Richmond, Virginia. Please give them a call if you're looking for some services. There's a wide variety of options here in the Richmond area. So you're very, very fortunate if you are suffering from substance use disorder. So give Align Community and Treatment Services a call. They also take insurance, 804-214-6460. So if you're looking for any help, any services to help with addiction, to help with mental health, give our sponsors a call. All of them work hand in hand with helping individuals with substance use disorder and individuals with mental health disorders. Once again, that's Avenues Treatment Center, 804-638-7329, New Growth Behavior Health, 804-250-6028, and Align Community and Treatment Services, 804-214-6460. We're going to thank you to our sponsors out there. And now back to our program.
Nice.
This is all like, I was super excited to be on this podcast because
it's a circle of life.
Yeah, like
yeah. But I mean, you did
can't make this up.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, you did some things in the middle though. You come into sober living, and it is true that so often, like people mistake like just the environment as recovery, and it is a form of recovery. But in your opinion, you got to do a little something. Yeah.
You got to do a lot of something.
You, right?
I mean, I made a mess out of my life in for 26 years of my life. It was a mess. It's not gonna clean up in 30 days,
right?
At all.
Break a couple bad habits, and and try to find your footing. You know, but I mean, you know, there's no time frame on it. But
there's not a time frame. But the quicker you just catch on and keep your mind right, and the quicker you just realize what I was genuinely like searching for. Yeah. I've had some aha moments.
Yeah. Spiritual awakenings.
Yeah. I mean,
but you did find some people that were like-minded. You know, you said
definitely. I've still got relationships to this day with women. It's and I say women because I didn't have a lot of female friends. I didn't have any female friends growing up. And I used to think, I just
play war.
I mean,
G.I. Joe or Barbies.
Stop. Neither. Really, neither. I liked like a karaoke or the Etch-a-Sketch. I used to,
I love Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, the Etch-a-Sketch.
I'm an Etch-a-Sketch.
Me too.
I remember getting one for Christmas, but my brothers got the four-wheeler, and I was so upset.
Now, let me ask you a question about that Etch-a-Sketch.
It's a little different.
Instead of just trying to be like super artistic, did you ever just anxiety out on it and just
Oh yeah, you just shake it.
Yeah, I love it. Spider web squiggly lines. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Squiggly lines.
Yeah.
So, you found some recovery. You got connected. What is your pathway? Just out of curiosity.
So I started with NA.
Yeah.
I did a lot of I did IOP, which was SMARTS. I do like the SMARTS format better, but I've gotten more into Dharma.
Yeah.
Forgiving. When I finally forgave myself, I was really genuinely I was able to start my healing process and to move forward with life. Until I forgave myself, I was stuck. I was stuck at that moment where, I couldn't grow in my recovery. I couldn't grow.
Well, you had like a lot of regrets early on, like that you had to forgive yourself for.
Yeah.
Part of the process.
A lot. Yeah, a lot. But I also had to realize, I was here to make a change. But yeah, definitely, if that's one thing I can say, and on everybody's due time and on their own time, you got to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, definitely. Good words. And after being here for a while, you found some recovery, eventually you would become assistant house leader.
Well, I had went to Brenna and I was 90 days clean and went to Brenna as a house leader. Really wasn't quite ready and ended up coming back into regular sober living, then went to Step Up.
Yeah.
Became the assistant house leader at Step Up. The house leader at Step Up.
So you were a house leader of the girls intensive.
Yeah.
That's like a heavy response. I mean, it's a lot.
It was a lot.
It's
And I wasn't ready, and I'm okay to admit that I wasn't quite
But
ready.
you were willing. You were willing to try
I was
it.
definitely willing.
But you were
Yes.
honest enough to know that I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not working them spiritual principles. early.
Yeah.
And then you would have gone on to go to step up and become the house leader there also.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately what, I mean, this kind of goes full circle again, because even though Destiny House, for anybody listening, we have a house that's for women and their children, for a safe place for them to find recovery and grow and step out from there. And so the women and their children live together in the house. And as a matter of fact, when I also first got here, I was having a hard time finding my footing too. I was still kind of a wild stallion. I haven't been broken yet. Yeah. So service work was in the cards for me, Service work was in the cards, and that was like one of my big first service work projects, painting Destiny House and
getting it redone to move in.
Yeah, getting it all redone to move in. Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was great. I love painting. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I love to paint, especially
Paint.
like fence. Yeah, like give me the roller, whatever. I hate painting, dude.
Do you see me over here? I'm like,
yeah, I don't want to say I like detest any form of physical labor, but like I would rather, give somebody a couple dollars to do it or whatever. But whatever.
that's the easy way.
I still did
out.
it. Yeah, it is the easier, softer way.
Easy way
And
out.
that's why I went over there and painted, because I don't take the easier, softer way anymore. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yes.
Yeah. We all did at one time,
Most definitely.
And so now Emily has become the house leader over there. Would you find that? Would you find you're in like a good, spot to actually be over there and be a great example for the ladies over there?
Yes, I definitely. So I'm in school. I go for criminal justice and human services, and I have always wanted to end up working in the field where, like working recovery with parents, helping them end up getting established, provide healthy relationships, healthy foundations and healthy places to be able to bring their children and, maybe not jump back into the system. I know when I was back and forth in the courts with my children, I was given no resources, no guidance. They just said, you have to stay clean.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to do that, especially because I couldn't do it on my own. Like we've established that.
Yeah.
So, I really wish there was something like this when I was going through, my situation, because I would have taken advantage of it.
Yeah, it's very interesting when I think about the word empathy, or like a passion or a purposeful desire to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And normally what I've found is the most passionate people towards like certain issues are ones that have been through that. And so like I can hear just talking about, I want to help them. I wish there would have been a place, and now there is.
Yeah.
And you're there actually helping
Yes.
the women. Another miracle, I would say,
Yes,
for
absolutely.
this Miracle
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of my internship there. And not only that, but I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah. How are you enjoying the McShin internship?
I love it.
You do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've been here for a while. I'm already close to everybody that's been here for a while, and just to be able to work with y'all hand in hand, it is a good feeling. I mean, this is an extension of my family.
Give me one thing that stands out that you've learned during your internship.
Okay.
I don't know why I just whispered that.
It makes
So
it more
I don't
It
know
was
why
like dramatic.
either.
It was like
I feel
dramatic
like-
effect.
and I feel like I'm supposed to be telling you like a deep dark secret.
No, just tell me anything. Like tell me something you've learned that you've been like, oh, okay.
Definitely have more patience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to have more patience. I was told, and even, that I'm a patient person, but I've definitely became even more patient with children.
Yeah.
And to not yell, I keep myself grounded. Definitely. Yeah, you gotta have your mind right.
They say that's how God teaches you patience, though. They put you in like aggravating situations,
Right,
or like
right.
high stressful, whatever. I mean, I can't, the place that I can think where I learned like just a degree of patience is when I was the house leader of the men's intensive unit,
That'll
Yeah.
teach you
Yeah, it was
patience.
like, oh, I mean, not saying, I cussed a lot, it was like I
I
had
mean,
to
it's
learn.
okay to cuss.
And I was like, oh, okay, but yeah, it is. But it's also okay to just fall back and let things play out. Also, patiently,
Yeah.
But so like we're about to end here today. I know we're going into our time limit, and I want to say this about Emily too. She's like very busy, like very good intern, like great intern. She does a great job caring for the ladies over there. I mean, every time I see her, she's in the car doing this, she's in the car doing that, she's helping pick the kids up. I mean, she's go 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 go. I mean, she seems like the energy that she displays. Like I have to drink a C4 for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
And I might have to put a
Starbucks.
scoop of the C4 powder. Yeah, Starbucks. I love pumpkin spice. Shout out to pumpkin spice. But yeah, like yeah. So I see her doing that. But I mean, just the story is like incredible. And for anybody listening out there, I mean, listen. I mean, she was in. I know we didn't peel the onion back too much, but you get the gist of it.
And we could have.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we'll
we
do
will.
a part two.
Yeah, you can hear the situations she was in, and like some of them dire, dangerous, natural consequences, being locked up, being in an abusive relationship. And I say all that to say this, that if you're in any of those situations right there is a roadmap out. I mean, there's probably more than one, but Emily just like laid one out for you, like exactly what she did, and how it led her to here, and ultimately like into like her purpose and what she loves to do and what she has a desire to do, and the people that she desires to help. It landed her right there, and there was a way out of it. So if you're feeling stuck, I mean, listen to Emily. There is a way out.
There's a way out. There's definitely a way out. I can't stress, like, if you want it, it'll happen.
Yeah.
There's.
And there is resources out there.
Took the words out of my mouth. There are resources.
Yeah, for every situation. And I mean, McShin is we pride ourselves on being a resource center. I mean, we also have our program and the sober living and the intensive. But if we also have resources if we're not the right spot, or if you need extra, I mean, we have the resources. Don't stay stuck in those situations. You don't have to. Emily, like, I love your story. This was a great story, a great interview. Do you have any parting words or inspirational words or guiding words, anything from the heart for anybody that might be out there still sick and suffering, stuck in some situations similar that you were stuck in?
I mean, yeah, look, I came here to McShin twice. I got brought here and had to leave and come back. I came here with a little red tote. I think I just threw away that red tote because the lid was, I just threw it away. But I came here with a red tote of stuff. No car, no money. I had nothing, but I was ready to do the work. I had to put in the work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to forgive myself, be ready to put in the work, and when you're doing the right thing, the right things happen.
That's right. I couldn't have put it no better myself. Find a place, forgive yourself, and put in the work.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Now, as John Schinholzer would say, this is real simple stuff.
I feel like an NA book, like a cliche. Like, I feel like I repeat, like, and I don't use no matter what. I do not use no matter what.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. These sayings sometimes sound cliche, but there's a reason behind them. Well, thank you for joining us today. This is a great Miracle Monday. A great miracle story, a great highlight on the miracles along the way. We'll catch y'all next time, and peace.